Made in China has fast become a term that makes many Americans afraid, whether it's the pet food, the toothpaste, or now the toys. There is a long list of imports from China that are hazardous to our health. Presidential candidates are pouncing on the safety issue. Some say they're politicizing it a little bit. Democratic Senator Christopher Dodd is calling for imports of Chinese toys and food to be suspended. Senator Dodd joins us now from where else? Iowa. Good to have you with us, Senator.
Good to be with you, Miles.
We're talking about in excess of $20 billion per year in toys. What do you say to the kids in the audience who will be upset they're going to lose their Batman over this?
Well, let's start with their parents. And I think parents want to have some assurance that when they buy toys or food or toothpaste, that they're buying safe products. And we know they're not safe. You've had 9 million toys that were apparently contaminated with lead paint. We have cat food coming in that's already caused the deaths of some animals, toothpaste, as you pointed out. If this were a domestic company doing this, you'd suspend sales of those immediately here. Under the World Trade Organization, the authority exists within the power of the presidency to suspend imports. The Chinese have done it to us. Japan has done it to us. South Korea has done it to us, where they were concerned about the quality of meats coming from the United States to their countries. Why would you wait even another minute before doing this? Why would I even call for it? It seems to me the president should use his leadership to do this immediately here.
But wait a minute. But don't you think that could really kick up a big trade war? And China is an essential trading partner for us.
Well, that's essential, but not talking about banning every import. We're talking about banning products that have raised serious health questions to the consuming public. And parents,
right, so
I think, when they go out and buy a toy, would like to have some assurance.
So you're not saying there should be an across-the-board ban on toy shipments, just the ones that are suspect?
Just the ones that are suspect we're talking about here, the ones that have had real problems with them. This is it's being done to us all the time. This is what these laws exist for here, to provide some protection here. A parent going out to buy toys for their children doesn't want to have to worry whether or not they're going to get sick or worse as a result of making those acquisitions here. That's pretty simple and basic. I'm surprised that I didn't have to be one calling for it here. Other countries have done it. We ought to do it here, clearly.
Well, let's talk. I mean, you want to be president. You're going to have to deal with China is in the Oval Office. Is this the way to deal with such a huge trading partner? They have, I think there's about $1 trillion in debt of ours that they hold. They have a lot of leverage over us.
Well, look, I'm a great believer in fair trade here, and obviously very important to have that here. But this isn't exactly an assumption of a level playing field here. If you're going to have products coming in that potentially damage your country, then you have a right to respond to it. I pointed out to you that other countries have done that here. That's why you have these rules and these organizations set up in a way that allow you to respond to it here. That's what I'm calling for here. It's what the president ought to be doing. I don't consider that any great threat here. If you can't respond to this situation, if you've got products coming in that could do great health damage to your children, what do you need to know before you'd want to suspend that? What's the problem?
All right. Did you see what the Chinese government official in Washington said here yesterday? I'll share it with our viewers. He said this: I would like to say the question of food safety and quality is a question for all countries in the world. It is not just a question for individual countries. And he specifically pointed out some U.S. food exports to China that were allegedly tainted. What do you say to that? It goes both ways, doesn't it?
Well, as I said, they've already done this to us, and it was over quality. There were some bones, apparently, in the meat products here. It wasn't over whether or not it was poisonous or could do great damage. They didn't like the quality of it. Now, again, they had the right under the World Trade Organization rules to do that. As I pointed out, Japan has done it to us, South Korea has done it to us, and China has done it to us. So the idea that we wouldn't respond here would have been told that 9 million toys have lead paint in them, toothpaste and other products coming in are dangerous because the materials used in the production of them could jeopardize the health of our children. I don't understand what the problem is here. Why wouldn't you suspend that?
All right. What about those who say it's a political tactic? What do you say to them?
Well, look, I mean, this is about leadership in the country. It's about understanding where we have to go in order to have a fair and free trading practices here. And this is a good example of utilizing the rules here to push back. You know, we allow China to sell an awful lot of goods on our shelves. It's not exactly a level playing field when it comes to access to their markets. They manipulate their currency. You know, we talk about being competitors here, but competitors assume that the rules are going to be the same for both countries. They're not quite the same, and this is one example of it.
Senator Christopher Dodd joining us from Iowa. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Miles.